Good day, everyone. Welcome to V-Class TV. This is Teacher Jackie. This week we will focus on sentence construction. For that, we have the following learning objectives to tackle this week. Welcome to day 1. We have a long list of topics this week and I hope you join me until the last one. Let's begin with a short review on nouns, pronouns, and verbs. All you have to do is choose the letter of the correct answer. Let's begin with number 1. A word that names something like a person, place, thing, or idea. Number 2. These novels are preserved for us to see. This is what kind of pronoun? Number 3. Goyong will play sipak-takraw after school. Will is what kind of verb? Number 4. Blippi feels happy today. Feels is what kind of verb? Number 5. The flock members blank in different direction. Let's check your work. Let's now proceed to a self-assessment activity. Self-assessment means you are going to consider how much you understand something. Assist yourself if you have already developed the listed skills. Rate yourself from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest. Fill in the before column because we are just going to start our lesson for this week. Keep your self-assessment for later this week. Now, let's begin our lesson by unlocking content area vocabulary. Let us have this one. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. A noun made up of 2 or more words that function as a single unit to name a person, place, thing, or idea. Number 2. A pronoun used to introduce relative clauses and connect them to a noun. Number 3. A word that describes or modifies the location or position of an action or verb. It answers the question where. Number 4. A word or phrase that completes the meaning of a sentence by providing additional information about the subject or object that follows it. Number 5. It contains an independent clause or complete thought and one or more dependent clauses or incomplete thought. Let's check your work. Welcome to day 2. If you are learning from this video, like and subscribe for more. Today we are going to tackle one of the topics for this week, subject-verb agreement in relation to possessive nouns. Possessive noun is a noun that shows ownership or possession of something. It typically indicates that someone or something possesses or has control over another object, person, or idea. They are often formed by adding an apostrophe and an S to the noun, especially for singular nouns, and just an apostrophe for plural nouns ending in S. For example, John's book, the girl's bags. Let's practice what you learned. Write the possessive form of the following nouns in the parentheses to show ownership. For example, number 1, we have here dog and house. So your answer should be dog's house. Now, I want you to do it on your own. Let's check your work. I hope you got it all correct. Let's continue with subject-verb agreement rule. Singular subject takes singular verb. Plural subject takes plural verb. Possessive nouns are not used as subjects. They simply describe the actual noun. For example, we have during Ramadan, Ivan's family gathers for iftar every evening. In this sentence, Ivan's family means the family of Ivan. Family is the subject and the verb gathers must agree with it. We have sentence number 2. The children's grandmother bakes delicious sweets for Eid al-Fitr. Children's grandmother means the grandmother of the children. The noun is the possessive form, children's. Describe the subject, grandmother. The singular verb bakes agrees with the singular subject, grandmother, and not with children's. Now let's have the last example. Johan's parents read Quran together during the holy month. The noun in the possessive form Johan's describes the subject, parents. The plural verb read agrees with the plural subject, parents, and not with Johan's. Let's again put into practice what you have just learned. Choose the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. Make sure that the verb agrees to the subject and not to the possessive noun. Underline your answer. Now, let's check your work. I hope you got it all correct. Welcome to day 3. If you want more of our educational content, follow VClass TV on Facebook and TikTok. Let us now move on to the next topic of this week's lesson, subject pronouns or relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used to introduce relative clauses and connect them to a noun. Examples include who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who is used for people. Example, the woman who fasts during Ramadan gains spiritual strength. Next, we have which. This is used for animals or things. For example, the dates, which are eaten to break the fast, are sweet and delicious. Then we have that, used for people, animals, or things. For example, the mosque that we visit for prayers is beautifully decorated during Ramadan. And then we will have whose, which actually shows possession or ownership. For example, the family whose house is decorated with colorful lights celebrates Ramadan with joy. And lastly, we have whom, used for the object of a verb or preposition, particularly in formal writing. For example, the people whom we invite for iftar bring delicious dishes to share. Again, let's practice what you learned. Choose the correct relative pronoun, who, which, that, whose, or whom to complete each sentence. Let's check your work. I hope you got it all correct. Let's move on to the next topic, linking and transitive verbs. Linking verbs are not action verbs and they do not define any action. Instead, they describe the subject rather than the action like other verbs. Some common linking verbs include be, seem, appear, become, feel, look, remain, smell, sound, taste, stay, grow, turn, and prove. Let me have some examples. Ramadan is a holy month for Muslims. Fasting becomes a spiritual practice during this holy month. The mosque feels serene during Ramadan nights. The iftar meal tastes delicious after a day of fasting. Ramadan brings communities closer together. Do not confuse linking verbs from transitive verbs. Transitive verbs are verbs that require a direct object to complete their meaning. Direct object is the noun, pronoun, or noun phrase that receives the action. Let me show you through examples. Families prepare meals for iftar. Prepare is our verb and our direct object is meals. People donate food to those in need. Here we have donate as our verb and direct object as food. Many mosques host gatherings. Of course, our verb is host and gatherings is the receiver of the action. Muslims recite prayers from the Quran. Here we have recite as our verb and prayers as our receiver of the action or direct object. Let's now do this activity. Underline the verb used in the sentence and identify whether it is linking or helping verb. Write linking or helping on the blank provided before the number. Let's check your work. I hope you get it all correct. Moving on, let us now compare the simple past tense from past progressive tense. Let's begin with the simple past tense. When to use simple past tense? Past tense is used to describe actions, events, or situations that occurred and were completed at a specific point in the past. It is also used when talking about past habits or routines in the past. For example, Miggy baked traditional sweets yesterday. That is a completed action. Yuan and Blippi always went to the mosque together yearly. That is a past habit. We gained our independence in 1898. That is a past fact. Let's now proceed with past progressive tense. When to use past progressive tense? Past progressive tense describes an ongoing past action that was interrupted by another past action in the simple past tense. It is also used to describe two past actions that were taking place at the same time. What do I mean? Look at these examples. A past action interrupted by another past action. For example, Miggy was baking traditional sweets when her friends came. They were reading the Quran when the power went out. Two past actions that were taking place at the same time. While Miggy was baking traditional sweets, she was watching TV. We were setting the dinner table while mother was preparing the menu. Notice how be verbs was and were used as helping verbs and then ing verbs as main verbs in the sentence. That is how we make past progressive tense of the verbs. Now, let us try to see if you can use the past progressive tense in sentences. Rewrite each sentence in the past progressive tense. Let's check your work. I hope you got it all correct. Welcome to day 4. If you are interested in the PowerPoint presentation used in this video lesson, join our growing channel now. Down to another topic this week. Let's talk about adverb of place. Adverbs of place are adverbs that affect or define the meaning of a word or phrase by informing us where things occur. These words are also called spatial adverbs. These adverbs invariably answer the same question, where. Let me have some examples. Here, we are having lunch here. There, Mr. Blackie the cat is sleeping over there. Inside, please come inside the house. You can also use other examples like underneath, outside, above, below, everywhere, away, behind, far, near, beyond, within, and more. Let's do this activity to see if you understood the lesson. Choose from the box the appropriate adverb of place to modify the action. Write your answer on the blank provided. Let's check your work. I hope you get it all correct. Let us now proceed to the next topic. Noun as complement. Complement is a word or group of words that completes the meaning of a noun or pronoun within a sentence. It usually follows a linking verb and provides additional information about the subject or object. Now, there are some types of complement: noun complements, pronoun complements, and adjective complements. But for this week, we are going to focus on noun complement. Noun complement is a word or phrase that completes the meaning of a sentence by providing additional information about the subject or object that follows it. Let's look at the examples here. We have Mary Genesis is a dentist. Here, Mary Genesis is our subject, is our verb, dentist is our noun complement. Mary Genesis is a dentist. Let's have another example. Grade 5 students elected Joaquin class president. Here we have grade 5 students are our subject and then verb elected, Joaquin as our object, class president as the noun complement for Joaquin. Let's try this activity here so we can see how far you understood the topic. Underline the noun complements in the sentence. Let's check your work. I hope you got it all correct. Welcome to day 5. If you would like to purchase the PowerPoint presentation package of this quarter, find us on Facebook. Message us for inquiry. Let us now have the last topic for this week, complex sentences. Complex sentences contain an independent clause or complete thought and one or more dependent clauses or incomplete thought connected by subordinating conjunctions. Let us have some examples. Muslims fast during Ramadan because it is a religious obligation. We have here Muslims fast during Ramadan as our independent clause and because it is a religious obligation as dependent clause. Let's have another example. When the sun sets, families gather for iftar during Ramadan. Here we have when the sun sets as our dependent clause and families gather for iftar during Ramadan as our independent clause. Complex sentences use subordinating conjunctions. A subordinating conjunction is a word that connects independent with dependent clause, creating a complex sentence. Examples: because indicates cause or reason, although indicates contrast, if indicates condition or supposition, when indicates time, while or as simultaneous action, since cause or reason. Let's try this activity then. Underline the independent clause and encircle the dependent clause in the sentence. For example, Since I am afraid of getting lost in the city, I haven't gone to the mall. I have here I haven't gone to the mall as our independent clause, and I encircled since I am afraid of getting lost in the city as our dependent clause. You have to do it on your own. Let's check your work. I have here underlined the independent clause and, of course, the dependent clauses encircled. Remember this self-assessment before we started the lessons this week? Now let's answer the after column and compare how you rate yourself from before. That's all for this week. It must have been a long list of topics, but I hope you have learned something from me. Once again, this has been Teacher Jackie saying, discover, learn, have fun only at V-Class TV. Until next time.